There you are. There's Desi. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Story Time with Nana. Today we're going to be reading The Very Noisy Night by Diana Hendry. Cute little mouse. It was the middle of the night, and Big Mouse was fast asleep in his big bed. And Little Mouse was wide awake in his little bed. Big Mouse, called Little Mouse. I can hear something rushing around the house, huffing and puffing. Big Mouse, sound asleep. Little Mouse, awake and worried. Big Mouse opened one eye, lifted one ear, and he said, "It's only the wind." "Can I come into your bed?" asked Little Mouse. "No," said Big Mouse. "There isn't room." And he rolled over and went back to sleep. There he is. There's Little Mouse. He has a little car bed. I like that. Little Mouse lay listening to the wind, and suddenly, between a huff and a puff, came a tap, 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 tap. Little Mouse climbed out of bed, opened the front door just a crack, and peeped out. Whoosh went the wind, but there was no one outside. Big Mouse, called Little Mouse. I can hear something tapping. I think there's a burglar on the roof. He is very worried, isn't he? He is very worried. Big Mouse got out of bed and opened the bedroom curtains. "Look," he said, "it's only a branch tapping on the window. Go back to sleep." "Can I come into your bed?" asked Little Mouse. "No," said Big Mouse. "You wiggle." There's no room and you wiggle. Stay in your own bed. Let's see what happens. Little Mouse lay in his own bed and listened to the wind huffing and puffing and the branch tapping and someone calling, "Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo." Little Mouse climbed out of bed again. This time he looked under it. Then he looked into the wardrobe, and feeling very, very frightened, he yelled, Big Mouse, I think there's a ghost in the room, and it's looking for something, and it keeps calling, hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo." What do you think, you guys? I think you know what it is. I think you know. Big Mouse sighed, sat up, and listened. "It's only an owl," he said. "It stays up all night, like you." "Can I come into your bed?" asked Little Mouse. "No," said Big Mouse. "Your paws are always cold." Big Mouse pulled the blanket over his head and went back to sleep, and Little Mouse got back into his own bed. There they are, back in their own beds. Nobody's getting any sleep. Little Mouse sat up and listened to the wind huffing and puffing and the branch tapping and the owl hooting. But shh, what was that? Big Mouse, he called. "I think it's raining inside." And Little Mouse jumped out of bed and fetched his red umbrella. Don't know if it could be raining inside. We'll see. Big Mouse got out of bed. He opened the front door to see if it was raining at all. Then Big Mouse went into the kitchen and turned off the dripping faucet. He gently pried the umbrella out of Little Mouse's hands and put it away. "Can I come into your bed?" asked Little Mouse. "You're nice and snug in your own bed," said Big Mouse, taking him back to the bedroom. Look at that. He looks outside. It's not raining. Then he takes him back to bed, carrying him this time. Get back in bed. Little Mouse lay and listened to the wind huffing and puffing and the branch tapping and the owl hooting. And just as he was beginning to feel very sleepy indeed, he heard, "Whee, whee, whee." Big Mouse, he called. "You're snoring." he is. He's getting sleepy. And then he hears Big Mouse snoring. Have you ever heard anybody snore? One time one of my kids heard his grandma snore and he thought there was a cow in the room. True story. Wearily, Big Mouse got up. He put his earmuffs on Little Mouse's ears. He put a paper clip on his own nose and he went back to bed. Guess he thinks a paper clip on his nose is going to keep him from snoring. Little Mouse has earmuffs on. Big Mouse has paper clip on his nose. Going back to bed. Little Mouse lay very still and listened to nothing. It was very, very, very quiet. He couldn't hear the wind huffing, or the branch tapping, or the owl hooting, or Big Mouse snoring. It was so quiet that Little Mouse felt all alone in the world. He took off the earmuffs. He got out of bed. He pulled the paper clip off Big Mouse's nose. Big Mouse, he cried. I'm lonely. Aw. Didn't like all that quiet either, did he? No. Got a dog in my way. Big Mouse flung back his blanket. Better come into my bed, he said. So Little Mouse hopped in, and his paws were cold, and he needed just a little wiggle before he fell fast asleep. Big Mouse lay and listened to the wind huffing and puffing, and the branch tapping, and the owl hooting, and Little Mouse snuffling. And very soon he heard the birds waking up, but neither of them heard the alarm clock. Now Big Mouse can't sleep. Didn't hear the alarm clock. Why? Because they were both fast asleep. Nobody's in Little Mouse's bed. Everybody's all relaxed in Big Mouse's bed, sleeping. Well, I hope you don't have a hard time falling asleep tonight. Love you. Bye-bye.